Welcome to the final case that remains against Trump is Fani Willis and her Fulton County, Georgia criminal campaign against him.
That's the hard conversation.
Welcome to John Mike King. We're going to give you the final overview. This could go to the state Supreme Court to get dismissed. That'll hit us at the very end. But here's the article. Welcome to John Mike Keene. Thanks for subscribing. This is from Law and Crime. Trump's legal team will likely weaponize Jack Smith's latest filing against Fani Willis. As the federal criminal cases against Donald Trump come to a close, the only remaining prosecution of the president-elect is the state election racketeering case out of Georgia. And special counsel Jack Smith's latest filing might help put an end to that as well. You see, the same thing that tells Jack Smith he can't go after a sitting president just could apply to the Fani Willis case. That's really the big picture of where all this is going. They're still trying, the ones where Trump has already been found guilty, like with Letitia James, and Trump owed $400-something million to New York.
Attorney General, you've told us that it's a dangerous conspiracy theory to allege that the Department of Justice is communicating with these state and local prosecutions against Trump. You can clear it all up for us right now. Will the Department of Justice provide to the committee all documents, all correspondence between the department and Alvin Bragg's office and Fani Willis's office and Letitia James's office?
The offices you're referring to are independent offices of state.
I get that. The question is whether or not you will provide all of your documents and correspondence. That's the question. I don't need a history lesson.
They're going to try and reverse that case, but it's not pending. It's already been decided. Same thing with the E. Jean Carroll case where Trump had to owe $83 million. I can't tell you about where those fines are going to go. I do believe the Letitia case fines will be removed or reduced. Here's a federal judge in Washington, D.C. on Monday dismissed the election interference case against Trump, who was accused of trying to overturn the results of the 2020 election. This is the Jack Smith and Tanya Chutkin case. While Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis has repeatedly signaled her intention to continue prosecuting Trump, despite the fact that he will be sworn into office for the second time in January, Smith's team formally conceding defeat likely means a similar end for Trump in the Peach State, in Fulton County, Georgia. Now, this is Fani Willis. We've already done a video on her saying she intends, if you're a lawbreaker, I will continue. She's going on that old lie.
We saw that only 8 days after the Fulton County District Attorney's Office filed the civil forfeiture action to confiscate and keep Young Thug's property, Nathan Wade, who's Fani Willis's boyfriend, was paid multiple times out of the civil forfeiture fund.
That old canard that she's going to continue to pursue Trump. Now, she is a part of a state, and states work different than the federal courts, but she has to still submit herself to the Georgia Supreme Court, and that's where they could tell her to go make it go away. In his 6-page motion to dismiss the election interference case against Trump, Smith cited longstanding Justice Department policy prohibiting the indictment and prosecution of a sitting president. The request was subsequently granted, that is, they dismissed it, by U.S. District Judge Tanya Chutkin. She's an Obama appointee, admitting that they have to dismiss the case just a few hours after the filing, meaning the charges stemming from Trump's alleged attempt to undermine the 2020 election on January 6th are over. That's from a federal case. With the Georgia case still ongoing, Smith's motion to dismiss will likely be heavily cited by Trump's attorneys as they continue their efforts to get the case thrown out. Smith's motion emphasized that the decision to drop the case had nothing to do with the merits of the charges, but ultimately concluded they were unable to move forward with charges against a sitting president. Now, that's his way of trying to admit, to say he's defeated, but not on the case's merits. They just go, hey, we have to throw this out because he's a sitting president. Crybaby. Go home. Go away, everybody. Quote, so this is actually what Jack Smith wrote. Quote, after careful consideration, the department has determined that OLC's official of legal counsel prior opinions concerning the Constitution's prohibition on federal indictment and prosecution of a sitting president apply to this situation, and that as a result, this prosecution must be dismissed before the defendant is inaugurated. This prohibition is categorical and does not turn on the gravity of the crimes charged, the strength of the government's proof, or the merits of the prosecution, which the government stands fully behind. This government does, but the next government won't. Based on the department's interpretation of the Constitution, the government moves for dismissal without prejudice of the superseding indictment. That's Trump getting off the hook with Jack Smith saying, hey, it wasn't about the merits of the case. It's just that he's president. So we'll never hear this thing tried. And by the way, all the efforts of Jack Smith trying to get this case going were gummed up, stopped. Trump had immunity for official actions while in office. But even still, it would be very difficult for Jack to prove the merits that Trump was trying to create an insurrection or overturn election results. The case out of Fulton County centers on similar allegations accusing Trump and 18 others of conspiring to overturn his 2020 election loss in the Peach State. The indictment alleges actions such as then President Trump imploring then Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger to find enough votes so that Trump would carry the battleground state and also try to get Republican state lawmakers to appoint a different slate of college electors that would vote in Trump's favor. That's all going to be unproven, and that means it hasn't been spoken of by the courts on either side. So just like Jack Smith said, it's not based on the merits, that never went to trial. But even if Willis chooses to continue pursuing Trump, it is unlikely anything will come of it while he's situated in the White House. Yeah, in fact, nothing will come of it. Nothing can come of it. At best, they can wait until after he gets out of office, which is something Alvin Bragg has hinted at in Manhattan also. But I believe that also is going to be reversed. But here's where Fani Willis is going to lose it at the state level. Former Fulton County Assistant District Attorney Daryl Cohen told Atlanta NBC affiliate that if Willis stays the course, the Supreme Court of Georgia will likely step in and end it for her. That is going to a higher authority than Fani Willis could end this whole thing. And that's what we look forward to. Either way, her career is over. She's been largely exposed. She can keep going around saying that she's proud and confident and all that and keep a straight face. But deep down inside, she's going back to her home and crying her face on her pillow that is stuffed with $15,000 cash. I'm John Mike Keene.